What is up, people? Welcome back to the channel. In the Thomas and Friends TV series, the dynamic characters of Thomas and Percy have always been pictured as pretty good friends in some way or another. And, well, let's just say that sometimes it's done good, and sometimes not so much. But of course, we'll get into that. So let's get started with the long-awaited return of Let's Talk Thomas. So, baseline. Thomas and Percy's friendship is something that's been a consistent element of the show ever since the beginning. It's also been a thing that's been consistently handled differently throughout eras. Some do it good, some do it significantly less good. But of course, we'll let the records prove that. Ah yes, the classic series. Amongst all the great things that the classic series did, one of them was the handling of Thomas and Percy's friendship. Percy was brought to Soder while the Big Three were being little piss babies on strike, so while these clowns took their stand, Edward, Percy, and Thomas divided up the work so they could do it efficiently. Percy and Thomas would then spend the rest of the episode working alongside each other and building the base of their friendship. Come season 2, when Thomas' superiority complex kicks in, likely due to the fact that he got mentally and somewhat physically slaughtered by the Big Three in season 1, and he turns into, well, a bit of an asshole. Now of course, I said asshole, not ass character, because this fits into Thomas's 5-season character arc. So if you took a decent look at season 2, you could easily say that Percy was closer to engines like Toby and Duck. And yeah, I'd agree. But of course, that's when you look at season 2. While season 3 isn't exactly the most memorable of the first 5, something I can give it a lot of credit for is making Thomas and Percy's friendship a lot stronger. They make fun of each other and have a very visible love-hate relationship. Now that is what I call a best friend. Thomas and Percy are seen working together a multitude of times in season 3, and even when they aren't, their friendship is seen in a very bright light. Let's discuss Percy's promise. This episode is a great example of a Thomas and Percy episode that revolves mainly around their friendship. Now obviously this episode isn't about Thomas and Percy, but the reason the story happens in the first place is because Percy makes a promise to Thomas that he'll take the children home from school. And throughout the episode, we see just what Percy will go through to uphold his promise. He'll brave a raging storm, ride on slippery rails, and practically go swimming just to keep his word. It's a very strong example of Thomas and Percy's built-in friendship. In terms of displaying their friendship, I have to say season 3 does it the best. I mean, it can't be seasons 5 or 4. Granted, it's still strongly apparent, we just don't see it as much. For, well, obvious reasons. But I like to think of season 3 as the end of Thomas and Percy's friendship arc. It had its base in season 1, was a bit shaky in season 2, and ultimately found its footing in season 3. Now season 6 does exist, and I can't lie, it portrays Thomas and Percy's friendship with enough decency. It's not the most noteworthy thing ever, but it's not horrible, I guess. Oh yeah, and season 7. Yeah, that season doesn't exist to me. Okay, so here's something. Now if I'm wrong, well, I don't care. In all the classic seasons that matter, I don't think once Thomas and Percy are ever addressed as best friends. Now can I fact check this? I could, but I won't. The point is that the fact that Thomas and Percy seem to be closer than your average two engines wasn't something that needed to be said out loud. Instead of directly stating their friendship within episodes, they show it. The chemistry between Thomas and Percy is consistently shown to the viewer in the classic series. And it was nice, nothing felt forced, and it was all just supernatural. Just gives us one more reason to say well done to the classic series. Hey, look at that. It's the new series. I made a Let's Talk Thomas on that. You should go watch it. I mean, not now, obviously, but like later, you know. Ah, yes. This is where the campfire turned into a bit of a forest fire. Now, I can't give you an exact time point on this one, but at some point in the new series, Thomas and Percy were permanently labeled as the best friends of the show. There are a good amount of reasons why this is not good at all. Number 1, random appearances. Oftentimes in the new series, Thomas and Percy will randomly appear at the end of their best friends episode just to congratulate them for whatever they did.
Thomas was surprised. Why are the children cheering? Puffed Thomas. They're cheering for you, laughed Percy.
Percy, called Sir Topham Hatt. Are you there?
Please don't scrap me, sir.
Now this one isn't exactly 100% best friend emulating, but it's noteworthy nonetheless. Number 2, the dynamic just isn't there anymore. You know, we had in the classic series, two brain-dead idiots picking at each other working alongside day in and day out while holding a mile's worth of mutual respect. That is a dynamic and a half. In the new series, Thomas and Percy were kinda just there for each other when the big boys were shitting on them. They were like each other's therapists, in a way. I guess you could say that. And number 3, show less, say more. Yup, of course something that the classic series does almost flawlessly, the new series can't even scrape. What a pity. It was always so platformed that Thomas and Percy were best friends in the new series that the writers used it more as a marketing scheme and less as plot armor. There's literally an episode in season 12 titled Best Friends, and it's about these two ass clowns. And the episode is just a KO of the friendship's marketing. Not only is this episode marketing galore, but it has all the grace of vegan cheese. It's boring, but that's just about all I can say. It's just boring. So, what did the new series do? Well, they made the friendship official, in a way. And they also used that as an excuse for the two to simp for each other. Yeah. The new series did a pretty bad job, but not the worst. That phrase can be used to describe a lot of things in the rather lackluster Miller era, and unfortunately, this falls into that majority. You thought things were bad in the new series. No. They weren't good. But anything's better than whatever the hell this is. The Miller era, honestly, just made the label bigger. But at this point in time, that's not the major problem. I mean, it's still a problem. They made a ridiculous song about this dumb label. But the problem that overtakes this one in relevance is the way that the relationship is carried out through the two. The way the engines treat each other is complete and utter ass. My main man Percy got absolutely disrespected in the Miller era and is portrayed as a straight up dumbass. And this bum right here spends 90% of his time with him and never speaks up to that fact. You want an example? Ever heard of Up, Up, and Away? This episode. It is literally just Percy having a string of bad ideas and Thomas not wanting to hurt him by telling him that he's a dumbass. Because they're like friends, and friends can't just casually tell other friends that their friends are dumbass friends, and friendship is magic. I don't have anything else to say on this one, because it's probably, possibly, definitely been said for me. Want another example? Day of the Diesels. The entire plot revolves around false struggles in Thomas and Percy's friendship, and once again, Percy is a dense shit. Not to mention, the special in and of itself is quite ew. But I don't need to go into depth about that one either. Everyone knows it's bad. So, Miller era, it did pretty bad. And, well, at this point, there seemed to be a point of no return. For a lot of things, yes, but for specifically Thomas and Percy's friendship. The Brenner era is the thing that brought a new light on a series that many thought was just about 18 feet under. But the concept of Thomas and Percy's friendship was one of the things that was majorly looked over, and in my opinion, for good reason. The Brenner era was very progressive, with all its new characters and all its returnees. The development of Thomas and Percy's friendship definitely took no priority. Unless you want to count 3 steam engines gruff, Thomas and Percy don't have any major dual appearance in the Brenner era. Like, at all. And to talk about the Bwubba era, there's not much there either. I mean, there's an episode about Thomas missing Percy, and an episode where Percy practically sucks Thomas's dick the entire time. But that's pretty much it. And they're both in the Bwubba era. I guess Brenner just had nowhere to go with the friendship. But honestly, gotta put some respect on Brenner's name. Let's be honest. Thomas and Percy don't need any more limelight together. And Brenner saw that. He didn't need to do any world building where there was already a world built. And well, gotta give him some praise. The Brenner era is the only era of the show without a single episode with Thomas and Percy as the two main protagonists. Again, if that's wrong, I don't care. I mean, it would have been nice to see some Season 3 energy, but I credit Brenner for moving forward with the series, giving other characters some spotlight, and giving Thomas and Percy episodes where they interact with different engines. And BWBA? Yeah. In terms of the friendship, it had maybe 3 episodes. But yeah, just no. So, final thoughts? I can say that Thomas and Percy's friendship is something that can be done well if, well, processed with enough care. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, but nonetheless, it's inspired a countless number of fans to make their own interpretation of the friendship so the corrupted, broken show doesn't have to. Here we are. Yeah, it's been a bit. Sorry. It takes a decent amount of time to make videos of relatively decent quality. But thanks for the constant support, even on the videos that I post for no reason at all. And yeah, I don't got anything else to say, so I'll see you when I decide to upload again.